You're either going to see what a true team is. They're either going to back down or they're going to step up. And you're usually intimidated. You smack somebody in the mouth first. So I feel like that's what they've kind of been doing all season. And they have a good team up there, and we're going to be ready to play.
All right. We are back from that. Jones had a lot to say there, and he's definitely kind of more of a humble guy. He's a guy.
He is.
He's a guy that I think he's having a lot of fun. It doesn't seem like it sounds like a guy that cares about who or when, how many times he gets the ball. He just wants to contribute. I can't say enough when I listen to these guys in these interviews of the difference, and it's their body language during the interviews. And I realize they're winning, okay, and that has a lot to do with it. But there's a
winning cures everything.
Yeah, but Dave, I guess the point is, and what I'm going to try to write in my article and iterate is, I think it's like a chicken and egg situation here. The happiness is contributing to the winning, but the winning also contributes to the happiness. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like a positive catch-22.
Right. Like, and I think it goes back to, and why I really kind of hemmed and hawed and went back to it is, there's certain things I feel like we talked about in the off season that are showing up now that matter. And we talked about the guys' attitudes before they were winning. And that's why I think the correlation to me matters. Because the way that guys were taken, you had Bakhtiari taken light, right? And working with him. And you had Jenkins and Lindsley working together, and you had
Zadarius taking Gary
working together, and Clark and Kingsley Kiki, were talking, and guys were just helping each other. The attitude was lighter. They were having fun in the off season when really, let's be real, there's a lot of work that was having to be done then for a first-year install of an offense that's very complex. Yeah. It's very simple, but it's very complex on its own right. I know it sounds funny, but it appears simple, but it's complex because of all the motions and pre-snaps, and the checks don't have formation shifts, but because there's few formation and lots of plays, your ability to check, and then there's different motions that go, and there's double motions in here. Shit, I've seen plays where there's double motions, and then after the play snapped, there's another motion. So by the time the ball is actually being delivered, there's been three motions, and it looks simple, but it's very complex.
Can I point something else that starts from the top, not even Jones, but all the way at the top?
Oh, go ahead.
LaFleur, one thing we talked about, a huge thing that he did when he first came to the team. A week later, he went ahead and had all the stuff moved into his office. A week later after that, 2 weeks, folks, he had around the whole locker room area, around even Gutekunst in his office, he had the whole place redecorated. He had things from the past taken off the wall because he wants this team to know this is their time. It's their identity they're putting on the Packers' history. It's they're not trying to live up to the past. You can't change the past. That's what Floor said. You can't change it. Make it your own. And that's what he's doing. He's made this team realize this is their chance. And with that, you've got guys like Zadarius, Aaron Jones, Rodgers especially, because everyone says he's no leader, but yet he's one of the best examples of leadership out there on the team. Also, too, Tramon Williams. Guys like those are help changing the culture in this team to what people always referred to as McCarthy's Packers before. Well, it's no longer that. LaFleur's Packers have made a mark on this franchise already because you want to know why LaFleur's the first rookie head coach in Packers history to go 8-2. No, not even Curley, not even Vince has ever done that.
If they end up clinching a playoff spot here before the end of the season, he will be the first rookie Packers head coach to ever make the playoff appearance in his first year as a coach.
What does he always say at the end of every game-winning celebration in the locker room? What do they have him say?
1, 2, 3.
Family. It's family. He makes this.
And that makes me laugh, Dave, every time because when we started this thing, very shortly after we started, it became the First and Goal family.
Yeah.
It was more than we're friends. It's more than we're going to build a community of people where, and we really do. I mean, we don't agree with
way beyond what we've ever
we
thought.
don't agree with everything Monty has to say or writes, and we can disagree, and there's respect. We can have a discussion. Well, there's a lot of stuff out there.
I just have to say it. I know it.
We don't have to agree. Greg is a writer and a fan of probably one of the teams I grew up and I hate with the passion to my core, even though I can't help it. And
I think I feel my dad's a Cowboys fan, hardcore,
and he's a great guy. We have great discussions football wise. So. It has to be bigger than just respect, I think, on some levels to be able to do what we're doing here and not burn each other's ass and be able to continue relationships. You have to have something beyond just a respect because respect can wear out and go away pretty quick.
It's going – I mean, how many times – I mean, already, like we've had guests on of different teams Packers have played each week – and we have made them feel at home. We have not made them feel overbearing.
What the hell is the point? It's no fun.
But how many radio shows and podcasts have you heard, Jay, that come out and do that and they just talk shit to a person they invite on the show? Like it happens all the time, and it's just to troll people sometimes too, from what I've heard. And it just bothers the hell out of me. Like, show respect. It's a human being wearing the other jersey. Like, you both love the same sport. And that's why I love the way we go about it and have guests on for that week on who the Packers are playing because we get to see another view except from the Packers, and we get to build on that relationship because, say, if it's a rival, JB is part of the family. Julius is part of the family. I mean, Austin's part of the family.
Oh, they're rivals. We got another one, Mike.
We did get Mike,
GM, and CEO. We haven't even got a chance to talk to him yet, but
he'll be on next week.
He'll be on.
I know Lions fans won't be happy, but we'll definitely have him on, and he's a huge Quinn hater, just like me. So
this is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so next Russian roulette. We're gonna listen to one or the other. So do we want to hear from Matt LaFleur or Mike Pettin?
Mike Pettin. Let's work out from the players to the coordinators. Come on. I love Mikey P.
You want to hear from Mike Pettin?
I love Mikey P.
Let's see what Patton had to say then.
Still one of my favorite lines ever.
How much
is that a picture of you smiling in the locker room? No.
Like this time of the week with, considering the tight end and the running back receivers, or is that something you pay attention Friday or really not at all?
Yeah, we don't. I mean, I've seen it enough times that if there's a slight chance that they'll play, you make the assumption they're playing, and then you deal with it otherwise if they're not. But that's just how you have to handle it. I mean, if you try to rule a guy out yourself and then you're kind of playing that game all week, wasting time and energy worrying about it, you just wait till see how it's going to play out. If a guy's, you assume he's playing, and if he's not, like I said, then you adjust.
Like, is it an easier prep given that you know this offense because you see it you see it in practice, or is it harder just because you know how good it is?
Probably a little bit of both. I think the offseason helped us as far as the one thing about the system is that it's a lot of condensed formations, just bunched formations, receivers all inside the numbers, a lot of shifts and motions, which was helpful for us to see and get used to it. But still, this is a different play caller. They game plan differently. The different types of players that they use. Kyle does a very good job of playing to the particular player's strengths. So while that helps a little bit, that's about it. It's a little bit.
Is there anything you realized during this self-scout the past week and a half that maybe wasn't at the top of your mind during those first 10 weeks that I don't know if it caught you by surprise or just your biggest takeaway?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that was you looked at it as a surprise. Sometimes when you dig into it, usually I just don't go on numbers alone. I'll usually kind of use the stats and how different reports that get put in front of me just to kind of use that as a jumping off point. Because sometimes you look at, wow, this coverage was only efficient 20% of the time, and then when you actually watch it, you want to watch it and know the why. It might be a lot better than you thought it was, and the other way around too. So the big thing for us is, and probably the biggest project I did, you're just studying the explosives and just taking the notes of, okay, why did this happen? Was it something schematic? Was it something technique-wise? Was it a personnel issue? Or sometimes it was, hey, it was good play by them. That's going to happen a certain percentage of the time too. So it was good to be able to just kind of sit back and kind of look at it from a different perspective and kind of see it all together. So no, there's some good things to come out of it at all positions. And the big thing for us is just raising our level of consistency. And I think that's every team. Every team has NFL talent, and every team you could make a cut up of them playing really well. But it's how long do you sustain it, and that level of consistency. And that's something that we're really driving home, especially with our young players. Is it's not okay to have those 2 or 3 moments during the game where you lose focus or you have a lapse in your technique, because that's when big plays happen. So that's really been the message is, finding a way to everybody kind of take their inventory. What have I done well? What am I not doing well? What do I need to work on? And raising their level of consistency.
Mike, is there a lot of similarity between what Kyle's doing now and what he did last year when he had a different quarterback?
It's predominantly it's the same system. I mean, he'll each game plan is very different. It's very much tailored to A, who he has available, and B, who he's going against. What type of defense is this? Is it do they play their safeties deep, or are they split safety? Do they play in cover 2, cover 4? Is this a man team? So, and just having worked with them in Cleveland, knowing that he's real good at being able to match. Kind of I always use the analogy of game plans like custom tailoring a suit. It's just not pulling one off the rack. So I think he's real good week in and week out. Being able to change what he's doing to take advantage of the opponent.
You were at one point you played Detroit coming off a bye, Oakland coming off a bye, and then Kansas City. I think they had a Thursday night game, so you were like the disadvantage 3 weeks in a row. Now let's turn on the other side of the coin here. What is the big edge, or maybe at the edge, a big advantage from your perspective?
Well, I think you just got to look at our injury report. I mean, that's probably just the most obvious one. Number one is that getting our guys back, not only physically healthy. I mean, everybody has their dings here and there, but more stepping away from it. That we didn't want them their time away from here thinking about football, just be able to get away. Now, I thought it just came at a perfect time for us that the stretch of games left in front of us, where we are, what lays in front of us, what we have, what that opportunity is. Not that many guys in the room have been 8-2. I think Tremont is probably the only one, even from a coaching standpoint. So, making sure these guys realize what, no matter what's happened so far, hey, here's where we are, and it's all about moving forward, cleaning up some of our issues and having the ability to make a run.
Like I know the old cliche about you're either getting better or you're getting worse, so you're not probably focusing too much on what you've done well. But what do you think as a defense? What do you feel best about? We're asking you about all these things you had to fix. Where do you feel really good right now?
Well, I just think the resiliency part is important.